Okay, so this lesson is on how to calculate the standard deviation using your calculator. And we're working with our Casio calculator, this one you see here. It's the most common with us. Okay, so we're going to first do an example where we get the standard deviation of just a number of values. So we're going to calculate the standard deviation for this set of values. Now, your first task then is to set your calculator to statistics mode. And we do that by going into menu. And currently we're in the calculate mode. If we scroll across one, you'll see the picture with the graph, that's statistics. So you can press the number 2 to select that, or you can press equals to enter that. Okay, and now you are faced with a new menu, and we are studying the blood pressure of a group of medical students. That's this example here. So that is one variable. It's one measurement that we are studying. So we select from the menu the number 1, which is one variable. And here you see a space where you can enter data. You're entering the variable x up here. So to enter these values here, we type them in one at a time. So the first one is 139, and we use the equals button to enter. And we continue like that, 131, 136, 141, 121, 126, 121, 131, again, 145, 143, 141, 130, 160. Now I have 14 values, which is correct. We have 7 by 2, which is 14. And that data is now entered. The next step is to clear your screen. The data is entered, so I press AC. We're in statistics mode. I go to the option button. Option. And recall we're studying one variable, so we're looking for one variable calculations. To select that, I press the number 2 on the menu, so number 2. And here we have lots of data, so if I can bring that a bit closer. So on the top you see X bar, this is the mean, the first one. Sigma X is the sum of all your values, then sigma, that's the sum of the values squared, and so on. But the other one we're interested in here is sigma X. So this one here, sigma, we use our small letter sigma, we use for the standard deviation. So that's our standard deviation there, 10.076, so on. So mean is at the top, and sigma X is your standard deviation. Okay, so that's for just a range of values like this. The other scenario you might have is when you have a lot more values that are grouped in a frequency table. So we see this here. This question gives data for the heights in centimeters of 140 plants that were measured, and they're recorded in the table below. Okay, and you see they're put into groups, so 55 to 60, 60 to 65, 65 to 70, and so on. All right, and then there are frequency, or how many, for each of those groups. So you can imagine to write down 140 values in a table, that would take up a lot of space, and to enter them into your calculator, that would take a lot of time. So we use frequency tables for when we have lots of data. The next thing to notice is the values themselves. They're in an interval, so from 55 to 60. So when we're trying to calculate means and standard deviations, what do we use? Well, we use what are called mid-interval values, and they're exactly as the name suggests, in the middle of the interval. So what number is in the middle of 55 and 60? What's halfway? I have it written in there, 57.5. If you're not sure, you could add the two numbers and divide by 2. Yeah. So my mid-interval values will be 62.5, 67.5, 72.5, 77.5, 82.5, and 87.5. Okay, and the frequencies are below. So let's recall, and we will hit a little issue now in a minute. We want to be in statistics mode. So we go to menu, again back to statistics. We are still studying one variable because we're studying the height of those plants. So number 1, we'll press that and select it. But here we have a column for the values, x. There's no space for frequency. So if your calculator is not already set up, that's what we're going to do now. Okay, so do you see this set up here? We're going to select that, press Shift and set up. Now there's nothing that we need on that first menu, but it shows here that I can scroll down. And yes, here I see statistics. I'm going to press the number 1. And I'm going to choose that I want the frequency on. So press the number 1 again. Now you will not have to do that again if you don't change it. It will stay there. So starting once more in statistics mode, one variable. So press number 1 for one variable. And now you will see that we have 2 columns for the value and for the frequency. If you don't need the frequency, as we didn't in the first example, that's fine. It automatically goes to 1 and we can ignore it. So it's best just to leave it on from now until the exam. Okay, so let's enter our data. I find it's easiest because it scrolls down to enter the values first. We're entering our mid-interval value, so 57.5. Press equals to enter. 62.5. 67.5, 72.5, 77.5, 82.5, and 87.5. Okay, all entered, and we have 7 values. And now we'll scroll back to the start of the frequency column to put in our frequencies. I'll just move that down. So it's 1, 11, 37, 54, 28, 8, and 1. Okay, and there's our table complete. All our data is entered. So like before, we'll clear our screen, AC, and we're going to go to the options. And as before, we're studying one variable, so select 2 for that. And there you have all your data again. Okay, the top one, X bar, is your mean. It's 71.96. And your standard deviation is here. It's 5.3 roughly. Okay, so it's just the regular sigma x is your standard deviation. Okay, that's that. Practice it a few times and drill it and go through the steps and you'll get used to it. When you're finished, for your other questions, you need to go back to your regular settings, press menu and select number 1 or go left and press equals to the calculate mode.